Once upon a time, many years ago, lived an emperor who adored expensive clothes. He didn't care about his soldiers, his palaces, or even his people. He only ever went outside his castle to show off his latest outfit. The emperor had 1,000 robes, 10,000 shoes, and a coat for every hour of the day. Instead of spending time with his advisors, he was always in his dressing room, preening in front of the mirror. One day, 2 wicked swindlers arrived in the city. They claimed to be weavers with an enchanted loom that wove the finest cloth in the world. The clothes it made were not only beautiful, but magic, they said. Only wise people could see them. To anyone stupid or unfit for office, the clothes would seem invisible. The emperor thought this was brilliant. If I wear clothes made of this material, I'll know by my men's reactions which ones I should sack, he thought. So he paid the wicked weavers 10 large chests of gold to make him some magic clothes. They set up their enchanted loom and demanded the rarest silk and the finest gold to make the clothes. But they stashed it all away in their bags and worked the empty loom far into the night. The emperor was desperate to know how the weavers were getting on. He had spent so much money, and he was worried whether the new clothes would be sufficiently stylish. He tried peeping through the window, but he couldn't see clearly enough. I'll send my faithful old minister to check their progress. He's an honest fellow and will give me a good report on how the material looks, the emperor thought. So the old minister was sent to visit the weaving room. There he saw 2 swindlers working away at their empty looms. Aren't these patterns exquisite? Isn't this colour divine? They asked him. The minister was terribly worried because he couldn't see a thing. Does this mean I'm an idiot and unfit for office because the clothes are invisible to me? He asked himself. He decided to keep it secret that he couldn't see them. No one must ever know. So what do you think? One of the wicked weavers asked him. Oh, they're the most beautiful clothes I've ever seen, the minister fibbed. Absolutely delightful. Soon, the emperor sent a second minister to view the weaving. He looked and looked, but couldn't see anything in the looms. Like the first minister, he was too scared to tell the truth, so he told the emperor that the clothes were wonderful. They are made of the richest silk in a dazzling rainbow of colors. I was spellbound. He lied. The emperor was so excited by the description that he decided he had to see the clothes for himself. Accompanied by his noblemen, he went to see the wicked weavers. Aren't they dazzling? Just look at the colours, his men said. They didn't dare admit that they could see nothing in the loom. The emperor was horrified, for he couldn't see a thing. Not one single thread or piece of fabric. Am I stupid? He thought. Does this mean I am unfit to be emperor? So he pretended he could see them. They're ravishing, spectacular. I give them my highest approval, he said. Everyone else stood around, looking at the empty looms, not daring to confess they saw nothing. One by one, they all joined the emperor in praising the invisible clothes. the emperor presented each of the swindlers with a medal and proclaimed them official royal weavers. The next day, the emperor returned with his ministers to collect the magic clothes. The wicked weavers raised their arms as though they were holding up a set of clothes. "Here are the trousers, this is the coat, and here's the royal cloak," the first swindler said. "They're lighter than cobwebs and softer than gossamer," the second swindler told him. "You'll feel as though you're wearing nothing at all." The excited emperor took off all of his clothes, even his underpants. The two swindlers pretended to dress him in his new clothes. They fastened the invisible trousers and buttoned the invisible coat and arranged the invisible cloak around his shoulders. The emperor twirled in front of the mirror in delight, even though he still couldn't see or feel anything covering his body. The minister announced that it was now time for the grand procession, when the emperor would finally show off his wondrous new outfit to his people. He walked through the city under a golden canopy, feeling prouder than ever before. Never before had there been a ruler so magnificently dressed as he. On all sides, the people pretended to gasp with delight over the emperor's new clothes. "Bravo!" they cried. "Such eminence! Such style!" For they had all heard the rumors about the magic material, and no one wanted to be found stupid for not being able to see it. Then a little boy piped up from the back of the crowd. "Why hasn't the emperor got any clothes on? He isn't even wearing any underpants," he shouted. His father quickly hushed him and tried to apologize. "Please forgive him. He's only an innocent child. He doesn't know what he's saying." But the damage was done. The whispers started. They grew and grew, and soon the whole town was crying out, "But the emperor isn't wearing any clothes!" The poor, foolish emperor at last realized they were right. No wonder he was starting to shiver with cold. But to save his dignity, he marched on to the end of the procession with his noblemen still pretending to carry his invisible cloak. And from that day forth, he was known forevermore as the Emperor of No Clothes.